Robert Gomez claims he was duped into buying nursery furniture after his ex said he fathered her child, and says he wants his money back because he's not the dad.
All rise.
Erica Reyes says she thought Mr. Gomez might be her baby's daddy, and he offered to help.
Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Lauren Lake presiding.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello. Thank you, Sean. Good day, everyone.
Good day.
This is the case of Gomez versus Reyes. Mr. Gomez, you are suing Ms. Reyes for $2,200 for reimbursement you say she owes you for baby items you purchased before discovering you weren't the father.
Exactly.
Ms. Reyes, you say that the plaintiff volunteered to help and you don't owe him anything.
I don't know him.
All right, tell me what happened. Were you all in a relationship, obviously, or maybe not? I don't know.
We definitely were, Your
In a
Honor.
full relationship?
I mean, I think we had all the bells and whistles of a relationship. I mean,
Take me back. How did you meet?
Well, I met her on a dating site.
Okay.
And, you know, she seemed to be putting out all the things I was looking for. You know, confident, a woman that was looking for something more substantial, something serious. But, you know, casually stepping into this, I said, I like her look. I like what she stands for. And so, you know, I swiped on her. I regret it, to be honest. She is a conniving, lying, you know, deceitful.
Whoa, these are some strong words.
Deceitful. Well, you know, you got to call a spade a spade. This woman here, even to come here today and to stand there, it's just, it shows you.
Ms. Reyes, I mean, Mr. Gomez has a very strong reaction when it comes to you. And these are very strong statements. I want to understand, when you first met Mr. Gomez, you felt great about him. You guys met on a site. What did you like about him?
Well, his personality, he was definitely very outgoing. Like, we were going for coffees and we were having great conversations. But then everything started to go very fast and I was just not ready for that, you know. And we went out for like 2 weeks and on and off because, you know, we both work. And so that's how we started to get intimate at some point, and it happens.
So you became intimate pretty quickly?
Yes, escalated very fast. And, you know.
How long after you met? Go ahead and tell the truth. That's why you came.
It was the second time, Your Honor. Second
Second
date.
time you met. Second date?
Yeah, second
you
date.
You ended up having sex?
Yes, Your Honor.
Unprotected sex?
Protected.
No, we took, but you know, Your Honor, like it was like from then forward, it was like we were making love all the time. Like it was for almost 2 weeks straight.
And here comes the timeline, the part of the case that changes everything. They became intimate very quickly, and both admit the relationship escalated fast. That is not just spicy backstory, it is central evidence. In paternity-related disputes, timing is everything. The court is listening for conception windows, exclusivity, and whether either party had reason to doubt who the father could be. Ms. Reyes says she missed her period, counted the days herself, and honestly believed Mr. Gomez was the father. That sounds simple, but pregnancy dating is one of those areas where people can be sincerely wrong while still sounding very confident. This is also the moment where many viewers are probably yelling at the screen, "Why was nobody slowing this down?" Because once pregnancy enters the picture, emotions race ahead of biology. He starts imagining responsibility, she starts imagining stability, and both are building conclusions on a calendar that has not yet been medically confirmed. That is the danger zone. A lot of people here I think as I know, especially when hope gets involved. So ask yourself this: when the stakes are this high, is trusting someone's assumption enough, or should a paternity test always come before major emotional and financial decisions?
Take me to when you found out you were pregnant.
So I didn't get my period, of course. And so I was shocked because I didn't want to be a mom of a child without a father. And so I found out I was pregnant and I went back on the calendar to count the days and I'm like, okay, he is going to be the father. You know, like I was not with anyone but him during that time. So I went on, I talked to him. He was willing to come and help me. He even came to my apartment. He did the whole nursery. He bought stuff because he wanted to buy it for the baby.
Whoa. I mean, this is going fast. So you found out you were pregnant.
Yes.
You told him.
Yes, Your Honor, because I thought since minute one that he was the father.
You had been having a lot of sex with him, so you assumed he was the father.
Yeah. And the timing in my head, I was 1 month pregnant, and so I thought he was the father.
And so when she told you, Mr. Gomez, I'm pregnant, what were your thoughts?
Well, she ghosts me. Like, I don't hear from her. She blocks me.
She ghosted you?
Yeah, she just ghosted me. Like, texting her, messaging her, like nothing.
Why did you ghost him?
Because it was going just too fast. This is before I found out that I was pregnant. So I was like, I'm not ready for a serious relationship right now. I just came out of a...
You knew you were on the rebound.
Yes.
So then I'm like, I'm gonna do the right thing, right thing for her, for the child. And, I painted the spare room of her apartment. I bought, I bought all these things here that I thought she
May I see that?
Sure. And so all I could say is I felt like there was a chance that we could be a family, even if we weren't going to be a couple. And obviously, you can't raise a family with this kind of woman. And it's the truth. It's the truth. Like
it goes dark quick. It goes dark.
Well, I'm just saying, like...
You see, Your Honor, that's why I figured out it was better to step out of that relationship. He was just going too quick.
She has no accountability, Your Honor.
But then he popped back up because he bought all this stuff.
Uh-huh.
Baby depot. Everything. So you obviously got happy.
I did. Who wouldn't? You're gonna be I'm no spring chicken anymore.
Unicorn blanket.
If I'm gonna have a child, it better be now.
Coming up.
Have you ever heard the phrase, mama's baby, papa's maybe?
No, but I'm gonna remember that one now.
Well, you're gonna learn that one today.
It's gonna be my mantra.
We're back with the case of Robert Gomez, who is fighting with Erica Reyes over big-ticket baby items.
Once you found out, Ms. Reyes, why did you come back to him? If you felt like this wasn't the guy for me, it's going too fast, I'm in another relationship, you came back because you really thought he was the father. What was your reason?
I genuinely thought he was the father. I'm not gonna lie. And I was scared because I barely knew him, and I was like, okay, I'm not sure about this. I was very afraid of it, but then it's like, I'm not going to raise a child myself. I work a lot, and I wanna raise a child in the proper environment, so that's why I reached out to him.
I also know why she reached out to me.
Why do you think she did?
Because she doesn't want to be accountable for her choices. And I think she's like just this mess, like this chaotic mess. And I'm hopeful that you, Your Honor, could put her on her right track because she's a mother now. And if you don't take a good accountability and ground yourself, I'm concerned for her,
How
to be
did
honest.
you find out the baby wasn't his?
So, thank you, Your Honor. Later on, I went to this appointment, the routine appointments that you need to do when you're pregnant. And the doctor gave me the specific days of my due for my pregnancy. And I was like, okay, he might not be the father because I was 1 month ahead than what I was expecting. When I found out this, I went back and tracked all the dates on my calendar.
Now we get the medical timeline correction. And this is the turning point that seriously weakens any clear fraud narrative. Miss Reyes says the doctor gave her a more accurate conception window, and suddenly the dates pointed back not to Mr. Gomez, but to her ex-boyfriend. That detail matters a lot because it supports the idea that her original belief may have been mistaken rather than malicious. A mistaken self-calculation is not the same thing as an intentional lie. Messy? Absolutely. Careless? Maybe. But in court, careless and fraudulent are not interchangeable. Still, there is a detail here that should make everybody pause. She did not immediately tell Mr. Gomez the moment doubt surfaced. She waited until the paternity situation was confirmed with the ex-boyfriend. That delay is understandable on a human level. People panic, avoid conflict, hope things settle. But it also fuels his suspicion, because from his side it looks like he kept investing while crucial information changed. That is why this case feels so complicated. You can believe she was honestly confused and still believe she handled it badly. Those two things can be true at the same time.
So when you missed the period, you were counting that as like a month.
The first month, yeah, and the
But when
counting
you
was
went to the
wrong.
doctor,
Yes,
they gave you
the right
a window of
time.
conception, but it was an additional month, which would have been when you were still with,
My ex-boyfriend.
oh boy.
And that's when I talked to his ex-boyfriend and I told him, this child might be yours. And he willingly went to get his paternity test. And indeed, he was the father. So he wanted to try to make things work. And so we are trying to raise our kid together right now.
Did you call him immediately and say, hey, my dates are off, and I got to tell you something?
I told him after we did all this paternity test and everything, and after my ex-boyfriend suggested that we should tell him right away. So I talked to him and I told him, and as you can see, he's pretty upset about it. But Your Honor, I never asked for his help. He was, as an adult, he knows how these pregnancies, it can be yours. Our encounters were very short, like 2 weeks is not a lot of time. It can be his and it cannot. And also, I did the math wrong. I thought he was the father. I genuinely did. And he came and he's like, it's okay, we're going to do this together. And he bought all this stuff for the nursery. And I work. I'm trying to be ahead.
Let me just ask you this, Mr. Gomez, because right now your testimony is, she should learn a lesson. She's a mother now. You seem to be a man with, a level head on your shoulders. Why didn't you get a paternity test?
Well, I mean, I looked into this woman's eyes, and I asked her, because I go, are you sure this is my child? I knew we weren't in a long relationship, but I trusted her. And I just think, what is a person if they don't have their word, Like she can't take any accountability. Like
I truly thought she was the father.
It's her body. Like if she doesn't know.
It doesn't work like that. You need to be a woman to understand that it can be like different periods of time. And also I didn't have the countdown by the doctor. I did it according to my days. So you will never understand because you're not a woman, but this is how it works. You're an adult.
Did you guys ever discuss that she was coming off of another relationship? Like when you met, were you honest about that?
She didn't tell me that until.
So, Your Honor, I don't think this is something that you disclose on a 2-week relationship because we were just getting to know each other.
Oh, y'all was getting to know each other, all right?
No, I understand.
As I said, but you wasn't knowing the right things because the truth is you all were having a lot of sex with maybe a couple slip-ups, which is why he thought, maybe I could be the father. If he didn't know about your prior relationship and you looked at him and said, you're the father, he chose to believe you. Now, I hope you understand now, Mr. Gomez, that's a life lesson you got to learn.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the phrase, mama's baby, papa's maybe?
No, but I'm gonna remember that one now.
Well, you're gonna learn that one today.
It's gonna be my mantra.
Yeah.
What is it again?
Mama's baby.
Mama's baby.
Papa's maybe.
Papa's maybe. Maybe.
Meaning, we're gonna know who the mother of the child is, but sometimes we don't always know who the father is.
Coming up.
So you really did think he was the father because you had been having sex with him.
I think, Your Honor, that she wanted me to think that I was the father, and she had doubts.
But Mr. Gomez, why? That's my point.
Well,
when you're listening to the testimony, she had already ghosted you.
You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with the case of Robert Gomez, who is fighting with Erica Reyes over big-ticket baby items.
These things happen. They really do. But you think that this was like paternity fraud. You think she just set out to defraud you.
I think.
Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to figure out why him. Because if you had a long-standing boyfriend that you were with a while, then you find out you're pregnant, you would seem to want to go to that guy to say, you're the father. So you really did think he was the father because you had been having sex with him.
I think, Your Honor, that she wanted me to think that I was the father, and she had doubts.
But Mr. Gomez, why? That's my point.
Well,
when you're listening to the testimony, she had already ghosted you.
Well, she had.
So why all of a sudden
she's an
I find
emotional
out I'm
wreck, Your Honor.
pregnant and I go, oh, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the father of my child? I want it to be Mr. Gomez. No, it doesn't make logical sense.
I think, Your Honor, like, you know,
were you
she's not
spending
the
a lot of money
She's
on
not the
her?
first lady like this that I've dated in my life.
$2,000, Your Honor. It's more the effort that we put in to come here for this amount of money, seriously. And also, like, it's one-time situation.
I mean, let's not, Ms. Reyes, act like it ain't no big deal.
Well, that's what she's.
I
that's
mean,
what she's essentially
a man
saying,
doesn't go and buy all these things unless he is thinking that he's about to have a child. And in that way, it is absolutely remarkable and admirable that he stepped up.
I agree,
no
and I
questions
appreciate
asked
it.
with a woman that he basically had a 2-week fling. What this court has to decide based upon the testimony and the evidence presented is, were you setting out to defraud him?
No, I was not.
And I don't think that has been proven today.
Coming up.
I don't know if you are a mother or not, but when you get a newborn baby, the least thing you're thinking is the paint on the walls.
We're back with the case of Robert Gomez, who is fighting with Erica Reyes over big-ticket baby items.
It's about, did she set out to intentionally defraud you? And I am not seeing that to be true. What I'm seeing is you operating under a presumption, right? She did not force you to buy anything. You were doing that out of the goodness of your heart because you thought it was your child.
Well, she said, basically made assertions that were lies. And so whether...
But this is the point that I don't think has been proven. Now I'm looking at you right now because I'm ready for you to speak up. Because it sounds like to me you done got yourself a whole baby room, and then now you with the real dad. And neither one of you all care that Mr. Gomez went through all of that and gave all of these things willingly.
We did care, and I appreciated for him being such an adult.
And then if this was in such a short amount of time, besides the room painting, why didn't we just pack all that stuff back? He could return it. Shoot, we still within the 30-day window. We can get our money back.
We're not within the 30-day window anymore.
No, you're not, because you done ran yourself up in here.
But I think you're talking about something like you're saying.
No, I'm
you're talking about morally. Like
that's what I'm talking about. I'm asking her.
Well,
why didn't you ever think of that? How do you arrive with this baby and you tell your ex-boyfriend, okay, but this other guy who thought he was the dad, he bought all this stuff for the baby. Yeah, but we get to keep it with the baby.
Your Honor, I don't know if you are a mother or not, but when you get a newborn baby, the least thing you're thinking is the paint on the walls from the guy you thought he was your dad.
No, the least thing I was thinking was, do I know who my child's father is? Because I knew.
Judge Lake's verdict when We the People returns. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake.
Truthfully, you bought it. You believed what she said. I don't think she was lying at the time. I think her window of conception was off, and that informed her that you weren't the father. And I am using the evidence and the testimony to put together whether or not this was an intentional defrauding, and I do not think it was. But I do think that morally, you need to offer to pay him back some of the money that he spent. That's the right thing to do. I think you could give him at least 50% of that money back.
Yes, Your Honor.
$1,100. That's what you need to give back to him.
Yes, Your Honor.
So my judgments for the plaintiff were $1,100 based upon morality. And so that a mother can right her wrong. Court is adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $1,100.
Here comes the verdict logic, and it is actually very instructive. The judge says she does not believe Miss Reyes was lying at the time she identified Mr. Gomez as the father. Instead, she believes the conception window was off and that later medical information corrected the misunderstanding. That finding is everything, because once the court rejects intentional deception, the plaintiff's full fraud based reimbursement claim loses a lot of force. But the judge does not stop there. She pivots to morality and fairness, which is unusual in tone but very effective in this kind of case. By ordering 50% reimbursement, the judge is basically crafting a middle ground remedy. Not full damages, because she is not finding deliberate fraud. Not zero, because she believes he was materially and emotionally affected by a situation that should have been handled better. In plain English, the court is saying, you were not legally conned, but you should not have to swallow the whole loss alone. That kind of split ruling often frustrates both sides, and that is usually how you know the judge was trying to balance law with equity. So the final result is this: the plaintiff wins $1,100, exactly half of what he asked for, and that tells you everything about how the judge saw the case. She did not find strong enough proof that Miss Reyes intentionally defrauded him, but she did find enough moral responsibility to say that keeping all the benefit while he absorbed all the loss was simply not right. This is one of those rulings that sits right between legal precision and human fairness. Mr. Gomez does not get total vindication, and Miss Reyes does not walk away untouched. Instead, the court sends a message about caution, honesty, and accountability when paternity is uncertain. The bigger takeaway is simple: do not build major financial commitments on assumptions, and do not make life changing representations unless you are prepared to verify them. Trust is meaningful, but when stakes are this high, trust without confirmation can turn into conflict fast. And for Miss Reyes, the court made it plain that even absent proven fraud, there was still a duty to make some effort to right the situation. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.